Welcome to the Nature's Newsroom. I'm Lucy Armand, head of the Nature for Climate Coalition, and I'm joined by Kat Bruce from Nature+. So Kat, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi Lucy, my name's Dr. Kat Bruce and I'm the founder of Nature+. We're a company based in the UK that specialise in measuring biodiversity at scale using something called environmental DNA.
Environmental DNA. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, sure. So it's basically using traces of DNA that species leave behind in the environment. Like when we touch something, you leave DNA in a fingerprint. A lot of those end up in the water. And so our oceans, lakes, and rivers are like soups of DNA of the whole ecosystem and all of the species in and around them. And we can capture that just using these simple filters, push water through the filter, capture the DNA inside, and analyze that to give you the whole list of species present.
Right. So biodiversity monitoring and climate, what's the connection and why are you at COP?
Sure. So, I mean, I think what we've seen this week is really nature being put at the heart of the whole climate agenda. People have talked about this as the Nature COP. You know, people often look at biodiversity as a sort of byproduct of investment in climate, but the reverse is actually true. If we invest in nature and the people that protect it, we'll get the climate benefits sort of for free. But biodiversity's got this measurement problem because it's so much more complicated than climate. Biodiversity is different in every place, so we need to be able to use things like machine learning and AI to really build the metrics that we need. Because if we can't measure biodiversity, we can't set targets, and we can't measure whether people are meeting those targets or not. And so we generate the data that gives us the scale of information to bring those sort of big data tools to generate the metrics that we need.
Great. I mean, that sounds like a lot of innovation and tech. Are you seeing an emergence in that area at this COP? Are you excited about what you see?
Yeah, massively excited, and we're seeing innovation across all sorts of different areas, and it really is a mosaic, a sort of jigsaw puzzle of different solutions that we need to bring together. So we're seeing everything from the sort of satellite technology to the digital systems and platforms, all the way down to really innovative ways to actually restore and create new natural habitats. And I think we've all got to bring all of our skills and innovations to solve the challenge that we have ahead of us now, because the commitments and things that are being made are all well and good, but it means nothing until we can translate that into real action on the ground, and that needs all of us.
Right. And so you mentioned people are talking about this as a nature COP. So how do you feel everyone has delivered on that aim to be a nature COP?
Well, I think it speaks for itself that by the time we got to Nature Day on Saturday, we sort of thought, oh, do we really need this? Because we've been talking about ending deforestation and investment in nature-based solutions since day one. And I think that's hugely exciting. I think we've got tens of thousands of people around the world who have been doing conservation and sort of nature-based solutions by other names for decades, and they've just lacked the funding to be able to do it at scale. Right. Now we see the funding coming in as well. And it's up to us, all of us, to lean in and to make sure that all of those commitments are translated into real action and outcomes on the ground.
Right. And I believe this is your first COP, am I right?
It is.
So as you go home later this week, what headline are you taking away from COP?
The time is now for nature. Nature's gone mainstream. So we're going back to our investors and to our board and saying, let's invest heavily, let's scale up what we're doing, because there's a real need and an appetite for data on nature and biodiversity. And this is no longer a sort of niche area. This is really at the heart of addressing the climate challenge that we have.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Thanks, Kat. Thanks for joining us, and good luck for the rest of your time at COP.
Thanks.